There is a scientist giving a lecture about the history of the Earth and the life on it, and at the end of the lecture, the scientist asks if there are any questions. An old woman raises her hand and says that the lecture was very good. But the truth is that the Earth is a flat plane resting on the back of a giant turtle. The scientist asks, well, what is the turtle standing on? And the woman replies that the turtle is standing on the back of another giant turtle, who is standing on the back of a different turtle, and that it is, in fact, turtles all the way down. Turtles All the Way Down is the newest novel from John Green that was published on October 10th, 2017. I finished reading it the same day it was published. This story is about and told by Aza, a 16-year-old with some pretty serious mental health issues who is trying to be a good friend, a good daughter, and a good detective when her friend's billionaire father goes missing. She is doing this thing where people who have mental illnesses try to behave in ways that are neurotypical. We try to be a good friend to our friend who likes Star Wars a little too much by listening to them talk about Star Wars a little too much. We try to be a good romantic partner to someone who is sad for a reason and who likes literature and can map out the stars. And we try not to worry our parents who are literally incapable of not worrying about us, and we do this while treading water in the whirlpool of our own minds, trying not to get sucked into our own anxieties. Aza refers to her OCD and anxiety as thought spirals, those intrusive, those invasive thoughts that she can't stop thinking about, and they become more frequent and more dangerous the more she thinks about them. She gets sucked into the whirlpool. Green tackles mental health in a realistic way without ever once romanticizing mental illness. The therapist speaks like a therapist, compulsive behaviors are treated and described as being compulsive. The panic attacks Aza experiences easily mirror my own. Aza's OCD doesn't make her a great detective. Her anxiety doesn't help her better empathize with people around her even when they're experiencing anxiety. She would probably be a good writer, often delving into metaphor to explain her own experiences, but it's clear that when she is having bad mental health days, she isn't capable of doing that. She's only capable of expressing herself when she's healthy. Her illness makes her unable to communicate, and communicating is what she's best at. I think the strongest part of this book is the depiction of mental illness and how it affects the relationship between Aza and her best friend, Daisy. Both characters are written with complexity, and their friendship helps explore themes of sexuality, class, and the merits of personhood as explained through Star Wars fan fiction. The tension in their friendship is really the tension that exists between everyone who knows each other really well. People who you love and who love you are those that are most capable of hurting you and who can always see all of the best and worst parts of you, and isn't that so annoying? And Turtles All the Way Down does a great job of navigating such a close friendship. As good as the friendship between Daisy and Aza is, and how well the tension within that friendship is written, it is in stark contrast to the weaker romantic relationships in the novel. The male lead, Davis, is boring. He isn't written with a lot of depth and comes off as being bland. We only get to know very surface level things about him. That might be because this book is written from a first person point of view and takes place over a fairly short period of time. Aza doesn't get to know Davis with a lot of complexity, so neither does the reader. Davis really serves as more of a plot device than a romantic partner. He's a manic pixie dream boy that reminds us that romantic love is not a cure for mental illness. He is the weakest character in the novel, and because of that, the romantic plot is the least interesting part of the story. The mystery plot is far stronger. It isn't described as deeply as the romantic plot is, but the disappearance of a billionaire the night before his house gets searched because he is suspected of committing a white-collar crime is intriguing. The mystery serves as the initial inciting incident and drives forward both the plot and most of the tension between the characters. I wish it were more of a focal point of the story. It was a really interesting part, and solving the mystery and even choosing whether or not to work on solving the mystery created a lot of tension, and it was a really, really interesting part of the book. Overall, it's a pretty good book. It only mentions turtles twice, but it's a pretty good book. I would rate it 4.5 out of 5 turtles. Let me know if you've already read this book, if you're planning to read it, and what you think of John Green down in the comments. Also, leave me book recommendations because I love books. If you liked this video, please subscribe, watch another video of mine, or support me on Patreon. And hey, I love you.